Hello, and welcome to Bring On the Medicine, a holistic healers summit. My name is Janae Robinson. I am the owner of Janae's Essentials in Burley, Idaho. I am a life coach, a yoga therapist, and the host of this summit. I am here with Robyn Rich. Robyn is a guide and healing practitioner dedicated to helping others reconnect with who they truly are. Through expressive soul art, shadow work, vibrational sound therapy, and yoga, she creates supportive spaces for reflection, release, and growth. Robyn's work is rooted in the belief that healing doesn't require fixing ourselves. It asks us to meet ourselves with honesty, compassion, and care. Her approach blends creative expression with body-based practices to help people access deeper awareness, move through old stories, and come home to their inner wisdom. Whether guiding a soulful art journey, leading a grounding yoga practice, or offering calming sound therapy, Robyn invites others into a space of presence where insight and clarity can naturally unfold. Her work is about holding space for real transformation, one breath, one truth, one moment at a time. At the heart of it all, Robyn is an intuitive artist, using creativity as a bridge between the inner and outer worlds. Welcome, Robyn.
Thank you for inviting me, Janae.
You're
I'm
welcome.
excited.
Good, me too. I'm really excited. Well, I wanted to start out by asking you, what is soul art therapy for those that don't know, and what drew you to exploring this field?
So, soul art is just kind of getting to know your inner self. So, you're expressing yourself through art. And it's not necessarily art, but it's the creative expression. So, you start to look at those emotions or look at your intuition, your spirit. And we just start to connect to what your soul has to say to you by expressing it through that creative expression. So for me, I was having changes in my life, so I just wanted to find. I think I had lost myself, and so I was just trying to find a way to connect with my soul. So that's what drew me to soul art.
And it is a beautiful process. I've done it a couple of times with you, and I'm painting words or butterflies or different things on the canvas. You just never know what's going to pop out, but it all comes together in a really beautiful way.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the great thing about the soul art is just painting, drawing, doing collages, just however you want to express your art, and just finding those things that express your emotions or how you're feeling in that moment.
And yeah, mine definitely is not perfect. I am not an artist.
It's not about being pretty, and it's not about being perfect. It's
the expressive part. Yeah,
being expressive.
Yeah, I think so. I love that. Yeah. And at what age did you realize that you could draw and paint? Because you do have some beautiful art. You do.
I first remember drawing when I was probably in third grade. I did a pencil drawing of my grandparents' house that they lived across the street from us. So I sat on the steps and started drawing. But then I don't know, I just quit drawing and doing that. I don't know if it was just school or family life. But then I took and always had something creative to do, whether it was like I created quilts for my family. It's just something that I put on the back burner when I was younger. But that was the first time I remember really learning how to draw or drawing. Yeah. I didn't know how to.
Right. And I think that we do kind of go in and out of those talents sometimes, don't we?
Yeah. Well, and I think we don't, at the time, I didn't think it was a talent. It was just, that was in a school assignment, so I did it. So,
Yeah, which makes
yeah,
total, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And in your work, what do you find most beneficial that you do offer your clients? Because you do a lot of things, the yoga, the sound therapy, the shadow work, the art, the soul art work. What is, because but I have this feeling that there's kind of like a heart to all of it, right? They're all sewn together in some way, and that's what I'm looking for. What is that piece that puts it all together?
I think it's just the transformation that you can sit and watch them transform, their aha moments of, oh, I didn't know that that's how I felt. It's just taking something that's unseen and they're seeing it. So they're doing this all on their own. I'm just guiding them through it. It's just taking that unconscious and bringing it into the consciousness. So it's just that transformation, that insight that they're going to get, which is what I received. So it's fun to kind of watch that. It comes from the heart.
Yeah, it really does. It really, really does. And what are your favorite tools that you use in sound and for soul art, and why?
So for soul art for me, I love my watercolors. I do acrylics. I do a lot of pencil drawings, which I probably connect more to the pencil drawings than I do to the other things. Um, Vibrational sound is these bowls are created. They're not singing bowls. You can't sing them, but they're put on top of the people and they're feeling the vibration of the bowls. And that just helps them to go into like this meditative state so that if there's places in their body they need to heal, they'll be doing that healing. I'm just giving them the little road trip map to go by. So just yeah, yoga's yoga. I
For
did
sure.
get my certification, my 500-hour teaching certification. But yeah,
Yeah, and you also have taken some classes with Phoenix Rising, and that's one of the reasons that I'm so grateful to know you, is that there really aren't very many practitioners out on the West Coast where I live. And but yeah, yoga.
well, and I like to intertwine the shadow work and the yoga therapy method and soul art together because they just blend so well to me. We're just trying to find those hidden spots that we don't know about and just let's look at them.
Yeah, and I think that it is through novelty that we get curious and get excited. And so all of those pieces have that novelty piece to it as well. So I would have to agree with you there for sure. So my next question is, how are the pathways open to spiritual healing through the work that you do?
Kind of like we are talked about is that just connecting deeply within that person or within myself as well. So I'm going beyond the mind, beyond the words. So the soul arts kind of expresses what's inside by doing that creative. And it a good way, both shadow work, soul art, even yoga therapy method are just ways to kind of break through the barriers that we happen to have in our life. It just opens it up and says, oh, maybe that's what's happening in my life. And let me work on that. So it's more just those people calming them down, um, their nervous system, and then just taking a look at what's going on inside, letting their soul speak to them.
Yeah. Thank you.
Uh,
And what is the most unexpected thing that you learned about the work that you do? Did anything surprise you?
I think when I did, because I have to do soul art on myself and I have to do shadow work as well, and the yoga, is that I was struggling with a boundary that I had put on my daughter, who happened to be living with me. She's an addict. And it was like, okay, my boundary, sorry, is if I feel like you're using or you get caught using, you'll no longer be in the house, which of course happened. And I struggled with that boundary and implementing it or sticking to that boundary. And I did a soul art and I was like, this is my struggle. What do you want to tell me? What what is it? And I came to realize through that doing that work is like, the boundaries aren't harsh, or they're going to be harsh to that addict or to whoever. And but it's self-healing for me, and it's okay to have those boundaries because they're there to protect me and to protect the other person. So that was a real eye opener for me when that happened. So
Yeah, yeah. I feel like when we do have those eye-opening moments, it does lead us into the action of where do I go next, right? And I feel like the soul art, it takes you down this beautiful pathway to where you know at the end, you know where you're going to take it, which is
yeah.
beautiful.
And it just helped you. It's like it's okay to feel the way you feel. And you get the insights of what your soul is trying to tell you. For me, it was like follow through on that boundary. There's no contact, which was, that's not easy to not have contact on your kids. But because of doing that soul art, it assisted me in saying, oh, this is good, this is fine. In the long run, it'll be better, which I will have to admit the relationship that we have now, she has thanked me for maintaining that boundary. So, yay.
Yeah, we have hard things in life to work through. And being
Right.
able to tap into what is it that I need? What is it that I want? What is it that my soul is telling me, that my body's telling me? Because even with muscle testing, I've been told the body's not going to lie to you. It's not going to tell you that something is good for you when it's not. And that's the same
Exactly.
with our soul. Our soul is that piece that is not corruptible. It's not damaged. It's where the
Right.
truth lies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
And
we
you
can
just
use
need to
that.
listen.
Yeah, listen and use that
Yeah.
information. And sometimes it's about discovery, because we could have layers and layers and layers of things on top that prevent us from even listening or hearing. Or I've talked before, and I know that you know this, that I came from I had to be very compliant in my childhood. That's what it was all about, is that compliancy. And so that compliancy covered up a lot of, how am I supposed to feel? How can I express what I do feel without getting in trouble? Or what happens when we're not compliant? We get suspended from school, or things like that. So what's going to happen in my real life if I'm not compliant with what everyone is wanting?
Yeah. That's what I like about the soul art and the shadow work, is that the soul art, you're able to express it. You don't have to say a word to me. You put that on your canvas or your paper or whatever, however you're doing it. And then we're going to cover it up. You're going to heal whatever had happened. And so that's what's exciting to me with soul art is that you don't have to tell me a word. You just put it down. So, yeah.
Yeah, that there's a privacy is something, we fear those things, and trust and different things like that. You know me, I
Yeah.
blurt it all out.
And that's why I was going to say it's okay if you talk about it, but it's not a necessity.
Right, right,
But yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah, it goes both ways. So yeah.
I think so too. And then I wanted to ask you, like, what are you working on currently for your business, for yourself? What are you doing right now?
Currently there's another, well, number one is I need to do I need to do a workshop through my module on creation on soul art. So I'm working on that. And then there's one more module of soul art that I'll need to work on. But I also am doing like shadow working or shadow coaching. And so that again is like the soul art, you're taking the unseen and seeing it, or taking the unconscious and bringing it to consciousness. So I'm working on that certification as well. So it's really just kind of learning to embody everything that I do. So that's where I'm headed.
Awesome.
Business business wise, I'm working on that.
Yeah, of course. It's we take all these trainings and we work on ourselves, and I always say that you can't take the therapist out of the person. And all the learning that we do, it doesn't matter what we're doing or where we are. You can't take that out of us. All of a sudden our conversations are up leveled. We're talking about different things. We're not talking about other people. We're talking
Yeah.
about boundaries and these different things that we're going through. And that's one
Yeah.
of the things that I love is that it doesn't matter how much training that we go through, what we learn, it just doesn't go away. It's a part of who we are. And you spoke about that embodiment, right? It's just that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to learn how to embody it all.
I'm right
Yeah.
there. Yeah, I'm there with
Yeah.
you. And so I wanted to ask you as well, do you journal? And what do you write about if you do?
That, I was going to say, that is a really good question. Um, because the answer is no, and yes. I don't journal as far as like writing, but I will go and do like if I'm really struggling with something, I'll start to draw the Metatron cube, because that brings the heaven and the earth together. So I'm kind of putting myself in alignment by it. So, or I'll like right now, I'm working on a watercolor of handing a lotus to somebody. So that's my journaling. So those are my emotions are going into the drawings or into the paintings. So yes and no, not the traditional way.
Yeah, there's no wrong way to journal. There really isn't. I know for myself, sometimes I just do a brain dump where I'm writing down what I see, even like, oh, the cat's at the door and wants to come in. Yeah, what I hear, oh, there's a truck driving down the road. So yeah, it's true. There really isn't, it's not like this Dear Diary type of a thing or um
Yeah.
yeah. So I love to hear how thanks. I like that you incorporated that because there are some that doodle and the pictures or the sacred geometry is just something that I just never really thought about. So I like that.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Okay. And then I wanted to ask you as well. I know that you talked about, something unexpected that you learned with the work that you do, but I wanted to know if you've ever had like a life changing revelation that you would care to share with us.
I think that life-changing experience of the boundaries with the addict daughter is probably one one that I really, really remember. And just because I already had struggled with keeping boundaries, I can say, oh no, the answer is no, you can't do that. But then I wasn't consistent in keeping that boundary. So, oh yeah, go ahead, because your kids will ask 50 times till they get the yes. So for me, that probably was my life changing, was that I can stick to those boundaries. They may be hard, but they're there for a reason. So I think that was just the life experience that I really did have.
Yeah, that seemed to really carry through. There are moments that we have that really carry through in life that all of a sudden we get over that first hurdle and we can implement it really in any
Yeah.
relationship more easily.
Yeah. Well, and I think yoga probably started me on the journey of just that self empowerment, um, self realization. So just learning that it was okay to do something for myself, and yoga was that first thing that I did for myself. So that was life changing because it put me on a path of where I'm kind of at right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's funny because that's something that you gave to me because I had started yoga when I was 18 and it was a PE class. It was the very first PE class that I was a senior in high school and that it was the first year that they brought yoga into that school. And so I did take that class and over over time I had bought a yoga book because we didn't have the internet back then.
I know it. It was
Yeah, we
bad.
didn't have the internet back then when
I was on an old typewriter.
right, right. And so I didn't have access to yoga like we do now. And when I came up here, you did a few yoga classes at the Pilates studio that I used to go to. And
Yeah.
that's how I met you, was taking one of your classes. And I just was like, oh my gosh, it just lit a fire under me to pull out that yoga book and to discover more yoga. And then, that really started my journey into yoga therapy and where I am now. So I want to say thank you for that. That
You're welcome.
isn't that funny how we thread into each other's lives in ways that we don't always know.
Yeah, I mean, that was years. I was when I probably had only been doing yoga for several years. So yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And then I wanted to ask you, what's next on your journey? Like, what do you have out there that, um,
Good question.
yeah, do you have anything that
Um,
is after this?
I think just getting the certifications done so that then I mean, I still have, like I said, several more modules to do. The shadow work is until like October, September, October. So I think just doing that embodiment of it's okay to embody this. I am going to try to put some of my artwork in different places around Burley, um, maybe even in Twin. So just actually get some of my art out into the world besides hiding in
Right
my
there.
house.
I think that's a great idea. I really do. I think that's a great idea. I'm looking forward to hearing about all of that. And if someone did want to find you, if they want to follow your journey on social media or get a hold of you or ask a question, what's the best way for them to reach out or find you?
Facebook, it's just under Robyn Rich. There's a couple of Robyn Riches out there, so it is the one with a pink lotus. That would be mine. And then I am on Instagram, and that's just Robyn with a Y. Let me put that out there. So Robyn _rich_208. So I'm not a really super big social media, so that should be one of my goals of what's next is to become a little bit more, be able to tell some of my experiences in life. So, yeah.
That would be fantastic. So, well, I want to say thank you for joining me today in this summit and sharing about yourself and what you're bringing to the world. You really
Thank you.
beautiful human.
Thank you.
All right. Well, goodbye, everyone. Thanks for watching.